And this time we'll set up our prototype scene just like we did for our dot product example. So from the perspective of the NPC, let's just close some of these. We know all about them now. So we can see our script. Okay, so we're working with our Slender logic, so we're never going to worry about if we're chasing, because Slender's always chasing. Off-screen dot. I feel like this number's too high, but that's why we're here. We're going to check. So now we're going to use our main camera as our player, as it would be. Let's bring that down there. Our target is now our camera, because we're going to check from that perspective. And just like the dot product example, we didn't have anything moving, so I'm just going to drop his move speed down to 0, because that's all we want to do at first. We want to check if this is visible function is working. So I hit play, and that's great. So pretty much believe that that is visible. Now again, it's going to be hard when we can't see the view angles of the camera. So where can we try and imagine it? If I change the rotation, let's make it the edge of that wall. Alright, so the edge of that wall is the edge of our view. Let's go back to the NPC. And of course, that's great. It's already showing it's not visible. So as we get closer to our wall, remember the camera's there. Zoom in, see that widget? Not really. Let's just make it happen. There's our camera, and the view Fustrum is up to the edge of that wall. So we're going to move our NPC around and check out his visible function. It's kind of working. Getting close to the wall. Close to the wall. Okay, nothing's still happening. Starting to appear. Nothing happening. There we go. That 0.8 is not working. It's actually working quite well. It's not too bad in the 4:3 aspect ratio. So there we go. Pretty much all of his body is on the screen. If I start to take him away again. There we go. Okay, so 3/4 of his body is just not visible. Now visible. I'm happy with that. Clearly his whole body is on the scene, and we are visible. That's great. So now let's check the other things we implemented into the Slender logic part of the script. So we check if visible, we have a maximum range. Now this is more for, again, it's pretty much the field of view. There's going to be some place in space where the enemy is going to be quite far away. So if I move the camera again, so say we're getting to about that point there, it wouldn't be fair to call that visible. If he was off way in the distance, he would stop moving at that point in time. But compared to trees, bushes, hills, all that kind of thing, it wouldn't be visible. So we're going to work on that. Let's set our minimum and maximum range up. So the NPC, so the maximum range, I think I put the other one into 25, because remember it was a dark scene. So while we can see everything lit up here, if I take away the directional light, and also in the render settings, I've done videos on all this stuff, so you should know all about it. I'll set the light to black. Like I said, when you've got a torch, let's just get rid of the lighting in the scene so we can actually see what's going on. Okay, so if we were operating in the dark by torchlight, so we started to get out here, it wouldn't be fair to say that that was visible. Or you wouldn't notice him if he was moving around or getting closer. So we're going to set the maximum range down. See it now, I've just mucked around with that scene, so let's just reload the old scene. The NPC, we'll use in the perspective of the camera. Then I drop the camera down to eye level. Okay, so we're working on this maximum range value. See, for testing I had it down to 10. Like I said, the range of my torch was 25 in the old guide, but I'm just going to pump this up to 40 for the maximum range. So remember, if he is visible, and he is in the maximum range, he should absolutely not move. So let's check that out. He's settled down because he's a rigid body, but absolutely he's not moving. So I said let's even see how far away he actually is right now. 20, quite close. You can't change this value, you know why? Because we are using the square, and that is calculated in the start. So even if we change these values here, we're using these private variables, so we're going to have to hit stop and play every time. So there's 40. So again, like I said, if I drop that back down to that very close 10, even though he is visible when we hit play, he's not within 10. Okay, so he's going to fall in, and he's going to get to 10 units away from us and stop. So that's proving the maximum range is not working. Alright, what about the minimum range? I'm going to have to move the camera for this, but if I zoom in real close, because we're working real close now, there we can see the camera gizmo, and we can also see the player. And as I hit the camera, now if we're not visible, cross-referencing the script, if he's not visible, we're checking against the minimum range. Okay, so if he's not within the minimum range, he's still going to come even closer. Okay, because we want him moving when we can't see him. So here our minimum range is 4. I can't change that because I'm already playing. So let's just go for it. Let's move the camera so he is not visible, and let's see if he does indeed come within 4. There we go. It didn't take him long at all, did it? So I hope you all saw that. So he's now come within 4 when he wasn't visible. Let's see if we can just move the camera and make it happen. Okay, I'm looking at him. He's going to come to that 10, isn't he? I left it at 10. Alright, so 10, and again, we're going to make him not visible. And let's see if he does come to that 4 when he's not visible. So just rotate him, and bang, there you go. Alright? So hopefully that's shown all the functionality I've included into the Slender decision making. Okay.